Use the mic. I'm going to project my voice today. It says on there that I was going to do a poem, but I'm not going to do a poem. There was a thought that came to me. This thought came to me probably about 2 weeks ago. It startled me so much until I texted my dad. I said, Dad, if we live life without excuses, what would life be like?
Oh my.
Left it at that. Knew he was going to come back with something good. He said, well, son, if you live life without excuses, you can have and be everything that God said you can have and be. That was it for me. So I started looking. I said, well, let me put some scripture on that. I went from Philippians 4:13. It said, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. That's from the King James Version. But I had to dig deeper. I said, let me see what the NIV version says. It said, I can do everything through him that strengthens me. I had to underline everything. I had to underline all things. I said, I got to go further. I went to the Arabic Bible in plain English. It said, because I master all things by the Messiah who empowers me, I can do all things. So I had to underline master. Okay, we have to master some things. I went to the last one. I went to the Darby translation. It says, I have strength for all things in him that gives me power. Okay, so that means, matter of fact, let me tell you my title here. My title is, what would life be like if we live life without excuses? How many of you have used the excuse, I'm just so tired, I don't have time. I don't have time to go and exercise. But he said in the Darby translation, he says, I have strength for all things in him that gives me power. So this verse, Philippians 4:13, has eliminated my excuses. I have no more excuses. He told me I can have, do, and the strength to do, and master to do all things. So I went further. I called my sister. I said, sis, I said, you gave me a good little positive thought when I was there. She lives in Lexington. I said, you gave me a good positive thought. I said, what was that quote again? You got to text it to me. I said, I got to talk to some young people. She texts this. Now, do I have any Deltas in the house? Anybody Delta?
Oh, well.
I got a super big daughter here that be Delta. Okay. If you are a Delta, this is one of their creeds. It says, excuses are lies, tools of incompetence which build monuments of nothingness, and those that specialize in them seldom succeed at anything. That's powerful. I said, thank you, sis, but I have to look up some of these words. I said, what does incompetence mean? I mean, we got to find out what incompetence means. I looked that up. Incompetence, not possessing the necessary skill, ability to carry out a task incapable. Well, we're going to have to refer back to Philippians 4:13. Because if incompetence means we don't have the skills, and I see God told me I can do all things, well, then I know I have the skills. So we know we're not incompetent.
Right.
But when we use excuses, we're acting as if we're incompetent. Okay. So I had to look further. There was another word that kind of, I said, why would they put monuments? What does monuments have to do with excuses? Well, I looked up monuments. Monuments. What monuments is something that's surviving from past age, regarded as historical fact. Okay. Enduring evidence or notable example of something. Okay, so if it said you're building monuments of nothingness, every time you make an excuse, you're building a little house in your brain, within your being, that is surviving from a past age when you were making excuses, surviving from a past age when you were a failure, it's surviving from a past age when you didn't do those things that you know you can do. So you cannot build monuments of nothingness. So now that I understand that, I had to go. I said, well, let me put this in a literal term. Let me see. Okay, Michael Jordan, he was cut from the basketball team. They said he was too small. He, didn't lack the skill to play. Cut from what, high school? Yeah. Joke went home. He didn't use that as an excuse. He said, I got the strength to do this. I can do all things. He didn't even know the principles of Philippians 4:13. I guarantee he didn't know it. But he used them. Boom, started shooting. Next thing we know, he's the greatest player to ever live. I went to another person. I said, Oprah. Oprah was 32 when she started a talk show. By any means, 32 is kind of at that limit. Like, man, I wish she would have started at 22. Matter of fact, Oprah, you don't have that look that we're looking for TV. Yeah, you know. She went ahead anyway. She's what, on the Forbes list? She's the top 25 on the Forbes list? Didn't use excuses. She pressed forward. Rosa Parks, 42. Anybody know Rosa Parks?
Oh, yeah.
Rosa Parks? 42 years old. If anybody had an excuse, this lady had worked all day, she was tired, she knew how the system was back then. Let me just go ahead and move to the back of the bus. No, she didn't use that as an excuse. She said, I'm going to stand for what's right today. And because of Rosa Parks, we can sit anywhere we want to on the bus. I went further. I went to Colonel Sanders. I'm from Lexington, Kentucky. Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Any of y'all eat Kentucky Fried Chicken? Okay. Colonel Sanders started Kentucky Fried Chicken in 61. I'm sure his friends, when he started it, said, come on, man, you 61 years old, Colonel. What you going to do starting a franchise? He said, no, not only am I going to start, it's going to be the best franchise in America, and I'm going to start it in 32 other countries. We have Kentucky Fried Chicken, 32 other countries, because he didn't make an excuse about his age. Another one, Nelson Mandela. When I was coming out of high school, my brother can attest to this. I used to wear my Free Mandela patches, and my room looked like I was in South Africa. I was really caught up in the, Nelson Mandela. An interesting fact about him is when he got out, he was 72 years old. This joke was 72 years old and ran for president. Is there anybody in here today 72? We don't even have a 70. Okay, now think about it. At your age right now, would you run for president? He got out and he said, I'm running for president. I'm not using my age as an excuse. I'm not using the torture that I had 25 years ago as an excuse. He did it. These are all people that eliminated excuses. I looked in the Bible. I said, I need to get an example of people in the Bible that were excuse makers but overcame. Moses, as you all know, God came to him. He said, Moses, you've been chosen. You're going to lead my people out of Egypt. But Lord, I have a speech impediment, Lord. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to send your brother, Aaron, and he's going to help you. Okay? He overcame. He made an excuse. Excuses aren't uncommon. I don't want you to think just because you make an excuse after this, that's uncommon. Because people in the Bible, they made excuses. What I want you to know, though, is because of Philippians 4:13, we are overcomers. So we make it, but then we have to renew our mind and say, wait a minute. I can do all things. Let me get over here and get this thing done. I looked at Jonah. Jonah was told to go to Nineveh. Jonah said, no, Lord, them people over in College Hill, they don't want to hear about what I got to say. Them people over in West Hill, they don't want to hear this. They shoot people for coming over here talking about this stuff. Roma's part, they selling up. But you see what I'm talking about? Yeah. That's what was going through his mind. He was making so many excuses. So sometimes the Lord has to take our excuses and he puts us in a little holding cell. See, Lord sometimes takes me and he has to give a little quiet time. Quiet time may be wrecking my car. Quiet time may be getting fired from a job. But when I have those times, because I'm making excuses, he can talk to me. So he had to put Jonah in the well. Total isolation. Let me talk to him. Once he got out, he had a renewed mind, and he went and fulfilled what he was supposed to do. Okay? I looked at David. What if David had never fought Goliath? The Philistines would have wiped out the Israelites. But this little bitty boy of small stature said, hey, you know what? Hey, give me my sling and my rock. No, you need a shield and a spear. Doesn't fit me. Give me my sling and my rock. I'm going. He didn't make excuses. And that's the beautiful thing about it. When you don't make excuses, you do big things in life. You can have anything that you want in life. How many people out there, we got football fans? Football fans out there? I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to say his name. He's one of the best football players in my lifetime. I'm going to just give you stats.
Already know.
In 228 games, this brother played 227. When he was a rookie, that's the only time, that first game, they didn't let him start. Once he got in there in that rookie game for them 5 or 10 minutes, they said, oh, this brother got to play the rest of the games. He also had 41.5 sacks. He had 31 interceptions in his career, 20 fumble recoveries, 1,573 solo tackles. We're not talking about assisted. We're talking about going up, put that wood on somebody, solo. Okay? And he had 1 safety. When you think about a career like that, if you have an injury where you get your muscle torn off your arm, by all means, all these stats that I read, he can go out and, they'll say, you know what, he had a great career. It's okay. He doesn't have to play the end of that season. But you know what this joker did? By the way, his name is Ray Lewis. Okay, right out of Lakeland, Florida. This joker didn't use that as an excuse, man. I'm telling you, I was so pumped up at the end of the football season to see this man come from. Listen, your muscle gets torn off the bone. You don't come back from that. You sit out, you wait till next year at the same time to try to come back in. He rehabilitated himself. He didn't use it as an excuse. He said, I can do all things. I don't know if y'all saw that game where he said, man, nothing is impossible. Nothing. The reporter's trying to get a clap of the game. Hey, Ray, how'd you do? I mean, nothing is impossible. Because he understood it. He understood what it took when you don't make excuses. This joker had 55 solo tackles postseason. Postseason, that's 6 or 7 games. That's unheard of. He had 13 tackles by himself in his first game back. One arm. He's taking people. This is what I want you to visualize this. Okay. So after hearing that about Ray Lewis, man, I was just like, man, listen. My dad is a testament. I called him up. I said, I don't have no more excuses. And I put on my Facebook page a long time ago, I said, I don't make excuses in life. I don't hang around people that make excuses. I said, you tell me and find me one person that's ever done something successful in life by making excuses. I'll drop it and I'll start making excuses. Bottom line, we don't have time to make excuses, people. If you want to make your mark in this world, stop making the excuses. If you want to be a shining example of what God can do in your life, stop making excuses. If you want to help your family, and by helping your family, anytime a person lives life without excuses, they are successful. So everything around you can benefit from your success. So you can help your family. Okay? Testimony. There was a test that I had to take within my field. This test was the difference between making a little bit more, a lot of more money, or staying where I was. I had been stagnant for 3 years. I buckled down. I took the TV and literally threw it out. Asked my fiancée over here. I told her, come get this TV. I don't need it. It's an excuse for me. I come home, I turn on the TV, I don't do anything. She said, well, you don't have to throw it out. I said, it's going out. I said, I'm throwing it out just to show it. I'm throwing this TV out. I eliminated my excuse. I passed the test. I had never passed that test with higher than a 69. I passed that test with 85. Okay? Amen. Eliminate your excuses.
Yes.
When you start eliminating excuses, you will see, have, and do everything that God has for you.
Amen.